Hello and welcome to my channel Qubit Educational Services. This is going to be our last video on NEST 2020 session 1 because this is our last question, that is 15th question. This is based on probability. Let A, B and C be three events with non-zero probabilities. Then, and this being a multiple select question, we will be dealing with each and every option separately. Option 1 says probability of A given B is equal to probability of B given A if and only if probability of A is equal to probability of B. Now most of the students will select this to be the correct option, but it is not true. Okay, see, we know the conditional probability formula very well. Probability of A given B is probability of A intersection B upon probability of B, and probability of B given A is equal to probability of B intersection A, but intersection is commuted, so you can take it as A intersection B upon probability of A. Okay, now it is not incorrect to say that whenever probability of A equals probability of B, then automatically P of A intersection B will be equal to probability of B intersection A. But that is only one case where A given B will be equal to B given A, or the respective probabilities. But here they are saying if and only if, which means there is no other case when the conditional probabilities will be equal to each other. But there is one more case. Okay, what is that case? That case is when the numerator is equal to 0, or in other words, there are no elements from the sample space which belong to both A and B. Okay, so if A intersection B is a null set, then the conditional probabilities will be equal no matter what probability of B and probability of A is, isn't it? Because if the numerator itself becomes 0, no matter what the denominator is, it will always be 0. Yes, so under the condition when A intersection B is a null set, P of A and probability of B may not be equal, but still the conditional probabilities are equal and they are equal to 0. So option 1 is not right. Let us go to second option, in which we are given probability of A complement given B equal to 1 minus probability of A given B, where A complement is the complement of A. Alright, we will solve this problem. We will deal with this option by Venn diagram. Alright, now you know that A or any event and its complement, they form mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive set of events. Okay, so in this figure, the green circle is the event B, and the rectangular, the outside rectangle is our universal set U. Okay, and this part, the smaller rectangle which is resembling a square, is representing the event A, and the rest is representing A complement. Alright, now what is probability of A complement given B, which is the left hand side? Okay, by the theorem of conditional probability, we can say that this is equal to probability of A complement intersection B divided by probability of B. Yes, now let us go to this probability on the right hand side, A given B. We have already used it in our first option, probability of A given B upon probability of B. Okay, now what I have done is I am going to add these two probabilities. Okay, this is P1 and this is P2. If we manage to prove that P1 and P2 equal, P1 plus P2 is equal to 1, then option 2 will be correct. Alright, now let's add the probabilities by taking 1 upon PB common. We can do this because B has a non-zero probability that is given in the problem. Okay, into inside the bracket we are getting probability of A complement intersection B. A complement intersection B is this. Okay, now let me use white color for probability of A intersection B, that is this one. Okay, so if you add these two, you will easily get probability of B. It's not very difficult to see that. And outside the bracket you are having 1 upon probability of B, implying that addition of the probabilities of A complement given B and A given B is 1, isn't it? So this confirms that option 2 is indeed the right option. Okay, now option 3 is very similar to option 2 but is false. So in option 3 we are having probability of A equal to probability of A given B plus probability of A given B complement, where B complement is, well, complement of B with non-zero probability. So we will be using a similar Venn diagram for this, but this time we have events B and B complement, okay, and A. Okay, so the circle is representing A, the smaller rectangle is representing B, and the larger rectangle is representing B complement, and the outside rectangle or the outer rectangle is the universal set or the sample space. Okay, now it's very important to write down this equation correctly. Okay, probability of A is probability of A intersection B plus probability of A intersection B complement. This is because B and B complement, as I said earlier, any event and its complement will form or do form mutually exclusive and exhaustive set of events. Okay, yes. Now use the conditional probability formula for probability of A intersection B. Okay, this is also called as multiplication theorem. Okay, so probability of A intersection B will be probability of A given B into probability of B, and similarly probability of A intersection B complement will be probability of A given B complement into probability of B complement. Alright, now here comes the main part. The right hand side of the option consists of probability of A given B plus probability of A given B complement. Okay, but this time what we have got here is, we have got those two terms, but in addition to those two we have their multiples as probability of B and probability of B complement, and we know that none of them are non-zero. Well, none of them are zero, sorry, none of them are zero. Okay, it is given in the problem, and because none of them is zero, probability of A cannot be equal to probability of A intersection B plus probability of probability of A cannot be equal to probability of A given B plus probability of A given B complement, and therefore option 3 is not right. Okay, now some of you may not understand why is probability of A not equal to probability of A given B plus probability of A given B complement. Okay, if you understand set theory, then you will immediately realize that this is incorrect, or rather the inequality that I have written is correct, and so is this. Okay, probability of A is always the addition of probability of A with some event plus probability of A with its complement. Okay, so this is intersection. Okay, yes, therefore option 3 is not right, and I would like you to revisit your basics of probability to convince yourselves that probability of A is not equal to this. Okay, and as I said earlier, option 3 and option 2 are similar but not same. Okay, here we are having complement, well, here we are not having complement in the condition, and here we are having complement in the condition. Okay, option 4, probability of A given B into B given C into C given A is equal to probability of B given A into C given B into A given C. Now, as we have been doing with other options, we will write down the conditional probability formula first. Okay, probability of A given B is equal to probability of A intersection B upon probability of B, and probability of B given A is equal to probability of A intersection B upon probability of A. Alright, now let us apply this formula to all 6 conditional probabilities. So LHS will consist of A intersection B upon B into B intersection C upon C into C intersection A upon A. Okay, of course the probabilities. And what is RHS? Because intersection is commutative, the RHS will be A intersection B upon A, B intersection C upon B, and A intersection C upon C. Okay, and you can easily see that LHS and RHS are equal to each other. In the denominator we have product of probabilities of 3 events, and in the numerator we have the product of probabilities of intersection of these events taken 2 at a time: A intersection B, B intersection C, and C intersection A. So option 4 is right. Correct? Which means the entire problem is based on the conditional probability theorem or multiplication theorem, except option 1. I mean, it is based on that, but because of the logical connective of double implication, if and only if, the answer is a bit different. All right. Yes. So now we have solved all 15 questions from the first session of NEST 2020. Please check the video description for solutions to NEST 2020 session 2 as well as all previous year's NEST papers. Thank you and all the best for your preparation and the exam.